introduced then Justice Sinclair. And one of the things Justice Sinclair said in his convocation address was that there's 94. Prime Minister Trudeau says he's all of them, over a lot of time going forward, which is great. But he said to the gathered and those who've seen the speech, if each one of us, either as an organization, commits to just one of the 94, or as an individual, like my own personal great county councilor Bill Roberts does, fund a scholarship for an Indigenous youth. And so it really is. That said, one writes an op-ed piece about the importance of June 21st as annual Aboriginal Day. Why is it not a statutory holiday? You got Jean Baptiste, which is in the same neighborhood, and we have Canada Day, and yet we don't honor the whatever. I wrote an op-ed piece a year ago, and the online kind of racist stuff that comes out of it. So I agree with the Prime Minister that there's a tipping point that we're moving towards where we're really getting the public opinion that will support the Prime Minister and others. But there's still this little ugly underbelly that pops up. I want to ask another question about something different, but before we leave the issues of Indigenous peoples and your passion for it, is there something in your youth? There's got to be. It's more than Kelowna. There's got to be something within you that's been triggered. It feels different when I first heard you talk about this post-political career. Is there anything that connects personally?
Well, it goes a long way back. I was mentioned earlier. I mean, I was born in Windsor. I don't know how many of you have ever been to Windsor. I mean, you talk about the great cities, London, Paris, Windsor, and
City of Roses.
I'd never. I was 18 or 19. I'd never met an Indigenous person. I mean, in my life at that stage, the closest community would be Walpole Island, and I had never gone to Walpole Island. But I got a summer job working when I was 19, working as a deckhand on a tug barge on the Mackenzie River. All of the transportation in the Northwest Territories is done by tug barge. And so I got this summer job. This is what drives younger people nuts. Since I can't even turn on my own TV set, I'd like to drive them nuts. I'm a pre-baby boomer. A pre-baby boomer means that if you wanted a summer job, there were 8 people who would offer you a summer job. That was all there was to it. All I did is I hitchhiked up north, went up the Hay River, and went down and signed on and got on working as a tug barge. Now, all of the young people that I worked with, all the people up there were young men, my own age. They were all First Nations, Dene, or they were Métis, or they were Inuit. And when we would be going up, there would be, you'd have to take a break sometimes at night. There was the land of the midnight sun. It was bright all the time, but we would have to pull off at the side. And as most of you know, you get 3 or 4 young men, or you get 10 young men together, you're not going to get any intelligent conversation. But over time, if you're on the same tug with 10 other guys, at some point you've got to basically start to say something that's intelligent, and basically it has more than one syllable. So we would start to talk. I had never heard of the residential schools. Nobody ever told me they went to residential schools, but there were some things. It was very clear. When I would compare, these guys were every bit as bright, every bit as hardworking as any of my friends back in Windsor. But there was one thing missing, and you could tell that it wasn't the same hope, the same excitement. There was just something. And so I pushed, and I learned an enormous amount. And it's at that point that I realized what we had done. And staggered to think, and this was at the age of 19, and I was sure as heck, I mean, I wasn't, my wife will tell you, I'm not a deep thinker at my 78, so I sure wasn't that deep thinker at the age of 19. But the fact of the matter is that we had just done something so terrible, stuck with me at that age, and I've had it ever since.
Thank you for that.